Hey, this is Marilyn Gigliotti.
Hey, this is Brian O'Halloran.
Hey, everybody. My name is Scott Schiaffo, actor best known as the Chulies Gum Guy from the film Clerks.
And welcome to Clerks Minute.
You're listening to Clerks Minute.
And I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clerks Minute, the show we break down the 1994 Kevin Smith classic, one water-throwing minute at a time. I'm Blake.
I'm Kyle.
And on the line, we have indeed another special guest here to continue this scene from the ThatMan on ThatMan podcast, Scott Holden. Scott, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
No problem whatsoever. When I reached out to you to come on the show, you specifically requested this scene. Second half of the title, Designated Behavior scene. Why indeed did you request this scene, Scott?
I've seen the movie many, many times, and if I was going to pick and isolate a moment to go over, I mean, there's a lot, but I really love the way the actor in the scene, and right now his name does not leap to mind, but recently I was in Atlantic Highlands at the First Avenue Playhouse, where this gentleman is like an alumni player there, and was one of the main, sort of like a creator member of that group. I found this all out recently. Anyway, and he passed away a few years ago, so that was also unfortunate because I really wanted to have him on our show. But yeah, I just love the way he changes his delivery, like so drastically from, he's the disinterested customer or the guy reading the stupid magazine and making those comments. And I worked in a convenience store, so I remember that guy.
Gary Stern is his name.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Kyle was viciously looking for his name while you were talking.
And thank you. That's nothing better than a fact checker.
Exactly.
Because it's been my experience podcasting that as soon as the mic is in your face, details just have a tendency to fly out the window.
I absolutely agree with you. As a matter of fact, I have notes in front of me, and if I don't have notes in front of me, I will lose track of what we're talking about.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's like specific names. I mean, I know this person. I've said their name to them. I know who they are. Why can't I say their name right now? Why can't I even remember it?
Yeah,
that kind of shit.
I absolutely agree.
Is swearing okay on this?
Absolutely fucking yeah.
I would assume so because it is a Clerks thing. So.
Well, the MMX rule is whatever the movie is, we can do on the podcast. So they curse in the show, movie, we curse in the podcast.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that is really why I liked it. And plus, the scene in of itself really does highlight the characters in and of themselves. Dante and Randal of it all is really shown in that scene.
Well, we just so people know, because this is going to go up on a Monday morning. In the first half of this, we talked to Scott Corelli on Friday from Dueling Genres, and we were talking about the first half. So where we picked off here, we were back to our friend looking at the magazine, and he went and said we were miraculously saved by a koala fish mutant bird.
Yes.
We were saved by Kim Kardashian?
Oh.
Wait,
I don't even know. Is the Weekly World News still in print?
I think it's an online thing now. They stopped making print.
I know the National Enquirer is still at newsstands. I see them all the time, but I don't know about the Weekly World News.
So I worked for a few years at a Krausers, and then for a few more years at another place, at a mom and pop place called Quick Foods, and so that is another reason why Clerks resonated with me, because I was that 20-something-year-old, convenience store clerk. The scene where they show like everyone, like all the annoyances of a convenience store person, like the guy who asks for ice and where are the new movies and all that. That is 100% for real.
Well, for that scene, we actually had my regular co-host come on because he actually works at the FYE. So he gets it. It's his world.
Yeah.
And I believe, as I pointed out in that one, I have problems like that at where I work too. Like I work at a casino, and we have people asking like, "Oh, where's the poker room and where's the restroom?" while they're standing right in front of it.
Are you in Vegas or
No,
another
we're in Milwaukee.
casino?
We're in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a local
there's
casino
gambling
here.
in Milwaukee now. Woo!
We're the local casino downtown Potawatomi, and I've worked there. He does work there. We're housekeepers, so that's always fun.
Oh,
Getting
wow.
After the people.
So you get one soiled.
Well, I work at a hospital now, doing the same job. So,
Yeah, one soiled.
by the way, to answer your question about the Weekly World News, I looked it up real fast, and Weekly World News ran from 1979 to 2007. It
Wow.
ceased publication, and as Kyle mentioned, in 2009, it became a online-only publication.
There you go.
There you go. That's
So
quick
if you still
check
need
there.
to get your Ecuadorian Bat Boy fix,
So we cut back to Randal as we're continuing our conversation. He says, "So I'm no more responsible for my actions here than a death squad soldier in Bosnia." There's a comparison.
wow.
Drastic comparison. And that is a good point by Dante. He said, that's a stretch. You're not being asked to slay children or anything.
Although I do find myself at times wanting to execute a customer.
I see, as a wrestling fan, sometimes I just want to super kick somebody's head off. I'm not going to lie.
I just want to choke a bitch.
Wrestling fan, are you?
Yes, I am. I'm a diehard
That's
fan, actually.
what it is about wrestling. But whenever I find out that someone's into wrestling, it's just like a little bit inside me goes, "Oh,
Really? I'm a diehard fan. Absolutely
Yeah.
diehard. I actually am friends with a promoter here for a local company here in Milwaukee. So,
You think he's a nerd with this? You should talk to my dad.
oh yeah, he's our wrestling historian on our main show. His father. So,
as an openly bi male, I've always found wrestling to be very gay."
and you know what? I completely get that at times. Evidently, and as someone who's been watching this for like 20 years now, I can understand the thought process there.
I did manage.
I mean, it's a lot of homoerotic behavior going on stage.
But also, there are some hot women, so that also helps.
Yeah, I did
I
manage to
would
get.
say that the ratio, though, is pretty much like, what, 75 to 25?
Yeah, but they've done better in the last 5 years with the women. The women are doing so much better now than they've ever been before. Okay, Kyle.
Yeah, I managed to get his co-host to laugh once. He was over here, and they're watching a match. Kofi Kingston comes out, and he's wearing a pair of pants that look like he just went into the highlighter section at Office Depot.
You're probably thinking it because it's the New Day. The New Day does that. That's their gimmick.
Yeah. Well, no, this was years ago.
Jamaican Kofi.
Yeah.
Jamaican Kofi.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looked
Is
like
there
he-
any nipple rubbing while watching? No.
No.
No, it looked like he went into the Office Depot's highlighter section and he goes, that's the color I want my pants to be. And I managed to get him to laugh at basically saying children and the elderly should not look directly at Kofi Kingston's pants.
Well, anyway.
The only wrestler I really know nowadays is what's his name? See, I just did it to myself.
John Cena?
Jericho.
Oh, of course. And Jericho is... There's a post after this, but he's now going to be doing a match in New Japan. That was just announced. That's pretty damn cool.
I honestly maintain that if they ever do an Eddie and the Cruisers remake, they should cast Chris Jericho.
I can see that.
As the
Eddie.
What? Yeah, as Eddie part. Yeah, I can see that.
All right. So then we have our annoying guy here just keeps talking, completely ignores anything going on behind the counter.
Yes, he's the oblivious, I need attention kind of, sort of. Like, please fall into my conversation.
But enough about me. What about the guy on screen?
Oh. So we have the famous Randal spit take. Just sprays water all over him, which is hysterical. And I don't know why I have this note, because just a disclaimer, people listening to this, we had watched this minute before when we had scheduled with you before, and we had to reschedule. Yeah. So we have our notes down, and I don't know why I wrote this down, so maybe I'll ask Kyle, why do I have written down Santa bloated Kenny Rogers in my notes?
I think that's probably because we were making comparisons to what he looked like.
Oh, okay.
I said Santa, and you said...
What was that?
He does kind of puff up like a puffer fish, and spit up. Yeah, or at least as much as he can, because he's not like a big guy. He's, diminutive in stature.
He looks like Kenny Rogers after he hit the China buffet a couple of times.
I just need a little explanation on my joke. I wrote down.
This, though, seriously, having recently been at the First Avenue Playhouse, his picture is like on the wall and sort of a immemorial.
Oh, there you go. That's actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So where was I in mind? Okay. So he did snap, and he almost jumped over the counter. That was a quick, like you mentioned earlier, such a quick change. It's escalated really, really fast.
But it's when he goes, "I'll never come in here again." It's like it's like a 1930s character or something.
Well, this is right after he threatened to break his fucking head.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
He like goes completely crazy. Then he gains his composure, but it's in this like, right out of, I don't know. It feels like it could be in Casablanca. I'll never come back in here again.
Well, he regains his composure, but he maintains the tone like he's like Stanley Kubrick madman.
So true. Well, what's funny is because we were literally pausing through the frames here, and Kyle had to ask me, did he actually take the money Dante gave him? Because you couldn't see it at first. Like, yes, he did. But I have a question. What exactly did Dante actually refund him for if he left the paper on the counter?
Yeah.
Well, the paper
no, he bought coffee.
Oh, he did buy coffee. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Okay. Well, the paper's also soggy now, so.
Oh, good point.
And that was the thing. He hadn't actually bought that rag. He was just looking at it, and he bought the coffee. So there you have sort of the conundrum of, is he loitering? Well, he bought that coffee. He spent all 70 cents or whatever it was.
Whatever it was. Oh, actually, we actually had all the prices out. I don't remember off the top of my head. I had to look at my old notes because we actually did look at the boards and write down all the prices at one time, a long time ago in this show.
I know Kevin has publicly said no one has ever sued, or no one has ever asked to be removed, or they've never gotten a cease and desist from any company in the Clerks, any tobacco company or whatever in the background.
Yeah. That's not a bad thing. No. Then again, it's free advertising for all of them because he never really asked for any money from any of them either. So it works out.
Yeah, you would think that too.
Although he did change hostess to Dave's.
Oh, no, I found out the reason behind that.
Yeah.
That's because Dave Klein is the producer, and he wanted to name it after him.
Oh.
That was the reason behind that. I did not know that until we're looking up.
Oh, you're talking about Dave's Pies?
Yeah.
Yes, and they did that one. They were a little, sometimes they were nervous, so
understandable.
They would fall back on, better. What was it? Safety is the better part of valor, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame them. I mean,
discretion is the better part of valor.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I don't blame them mainly because this is their first movie and they don't want to deal with lawsuits.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody at all for that. I'm just trying to find my notes where I did write down
all those guys, man. Dave Klein to me is fascinating because he really has become a genius. I mean, he's won Emmys now. He's an amazing DP.
Yeah.
If you ever listen to any of some of the commentary tracks, any of the ones that have Dave on them are always amazing when he talks about the technicality of film and so forth.
That's actually really, really cool. Now, let me ask you a question. What made you do your podcast, the ThatMan on ThatMan podcast? I've always been curious about this.
It's pretty simple. I had, in my previous life, I was an IT guy. Around 2009, I had been laid off. And I was lingering in this, 2009, everybody got, hit. We were upside down in our fucking mortgage. My life was sort of coming apart at the seams. We had to fall back from our life in Virginia to New Jersey, which is where I grew up. I had always been a Kevin fan, and it was around the time we moved back. I want to say it was 2011. Kevin's book, Tough Shit, came out. And, it was like the missing piece, because as an IT guy, I knew about podcasting. I knew about, digital media. I knew about blogging. And you're constantly hearing in the industry, you got to brand yourself. But that is such an empty term. You know what I mean? What does that mean? Oh, okay. Yes. If I'm an accountant, I'm going to brand myself as super accountant online. Yay. But that's not, that's not me. And so I was in this literal crisis, and Kevin's book, Tough Shit, did something very simple. It finally gave me the permission I needed to just go online and talk bullshit since I just moved home a 25-year friend, a friend that I'd had for like 25 years of my life, who since I just moved back, I had physical access to. An IT guy also got